What is up, all of you awesome and amazing people on YouTube? Kuda Malloy here, coming at you with video number, whatever this is in the series, How I Broke My Water Fast. Okay, so this is meal number 5. If you're keeping track and you're watching the playlist and the video history, this is meal number 5. So meal number 1 was bone broth, just the broth itself. That's what actually broke my fast. Then meal number 2 was an hour and a half later, and that was some sauerkraut. I had about 1.5 cups of sauerkraut, red cabbage sauerkraut that I make myself. If you're thinking about doing this yourself, just whatever sauerkraut you decide to get, make sure it's fresh. It should only have 3 ingredients. It should only have water, salt, and cabbage. That's it, right? If you're buying that prepackaged canned stuff or the stuff that comes in the jars that's in the middle of the grocery store, probably the wrong sauerkraut. You want fresh sauerkraut. Wilbrine, I think, is a company that makes fresh stuff. Trader Joe's sells it. Costco sells it. It's in the refrigerated section. That's the kind of fresh sauerkraut that you want. Okay, third meal was an hour and a half after that. And that was about 1.5 cups, 2 cups of kefir, right? Fresh kefir for the probiotics. I mixed it with a little bit of water because it was a little thick. And then about an hour and a half later, I had, so fourth meal now, hour and a half later, I had some fresh vegetables that I steamed. So there was some green beans, there was some red bell peppers, there was some water chestnut, there was some yellow squash, there was some zucchini. Just about 2 cups of that, freshly steamed, ate that. Now we're at another hour and a half later, right? Hour and a half, 2 hours later. And now this is meal number 5. So meal number 5 is the actual bone broth soup, more like a stew. But what it was beef shank, lamb shank, and then I had a whole bunch of vegetables. What I did was I threw some fresh spinach, like just ripped up some fresh spinach, threw it into this bowl, and then I put the stew in a pot to heat it up, to reheat it basically, and then put that on top of it, and then just mix it all together. And I put in a pinch of salt because it needed just a little bit of salt. But anyways, that was meal number 5. That's what I'm finishing right now. There was about 2 cups in here, 2.5 cups in here or so. So just little small meals. That's one tip or trick that I'll tell everybody, is little small meals, 1.5 cups, maybe 2 cups of each as you go. Because remember, there's been no food in my system for 4+ days, right? 108 hours total. So I'm trying to just slowly introduce food and in small quantities, right? And then space it out enough to give my stomach, my small intestine, my large intestine time to just say, okay, wait a second, you're putting more food in. Let me figure out what to do with that, right? And there was a certain sequence that everything had to be in to optimize the effects of the water fast, right? So the bone broth, just the broth itself, the first meal, was to get some glycine into the intestines to help repair that leaky gut kind of thing and to prevent it, right? So if you're thinking about leaky gut, you're trying to prevent it, whatever, that might be something, to consider. Meal number 2 was the sauerkraut. Sauerkraut was just a bombarding of probiotics into the gut, and also the first real solid food that's going into the gut. Then that basically helps with the flora, right? Just to get the gut biome going, help to feed the good bacteria that's in the gut. Then the third meal, the kefir, was more probiotics in a different form, but also more of them, like more variety. I think there were 12, lactobacillus, blah, 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 whatever. There were 12 of those that were in the kefir. So that's way more that's in the sauerkraut, I think. Sauerkraut also had some vitamin C in it, which is good. So the fourth meal then, the steamed vegetables, was basically a chance to get some fiber into the gut, because good bacteria loves fiber, right? That's what it likes to eat and multiply with and all that good stuff. So the goal was to try to prevent or repair the gut lining with the bone broth, just the broth, then build up the good bacteria with the sauerkraut and the kefir. And then the fourth meal, which was the steamed vegetables, was designed to build up that colony of good bacteria, get it going and going and going, because the fiber is what feeds those good bacteria with the probiotics, but you get the idea, right? So now this is the 5th meal, and I'm kind of combining kind of everything all together in a way, except the probiotics. But I'm actually getting some more solid food that's going in me. So there's beef shank, lamb shank, little bits and pieces. There was the fresh spinach, all that good stuff. You get the idea. Anyways, How do I feel after meal number 5? Oh, and to answer another question, every meal was spaced out about an hour and a half. If that makes any sense, if that helps some of you. So about an hour and a half apart, I had each one of those meals. Okay, during the water fast, I felt tired the second day, right? So if I started my water fast on Monday at 12 noon, on the second day, Tuesday, was when I felt the most tired, lethargic. By Wednesday, Thursday, my energy levels started to come back and all that good stuff. And then now going into the post water fast feeling, I feel great. I actually feel pretty good. I feel better than before I started the fast. Okay, another question that came up, working out while water fasting. Go to your doctor. Ask your doctor. I'm no expert, but ask your doctor what you should do in your specific situation. What I personally did was on Wednesday. So I was at the gym on Monday, and then that's when I started my water fast. On Wednesday, I went back to the gym and just did a light routine. Very low reps, very low sets, just kind of going through the motion just to kind of keep everything moving. And then I went to the gym again on Friday, kind of just before I broke the water fast. So same kind of thing, low reps, low sets, low weight, less, like 10% of what I normally work out at just to keep everything moving. And then I was also able to take some cold showers at the gym, which I think helps with skin elasticity and getting the endorphins going and all that good stuff. All the neuroscience stuff that Andrew Huberman talks about. Go check out his channel. He's a great guy. So I feel great. Everything's been good. No ill effects, no side effects, no nothing. This morning, I did have a small bowel movement that was just water. It was just pure water again, but very little, like next to nothing. And then after the kefir, so after the third meal, I did get some gas that came out of me. I was afraid it was going to be diarrhea, but it wasn't. It was just gas. And I think that gas is basically the sauerkraut, which was in the second meal, and the kefir, which was in the third meal, kicking in. I think my gut biome and bacteria and all that was feeling happy, and it decided to exhale, literally. And that's why I exhaled literally too. So, so basically I had a little bit of gas. And that's been it. I haven't had a bowel movement since breaking the fast. I'm sure tomorrow morning is going to be epic. It'll be my first full movement, I'm hoping, after eating this and the sauerkraut after breaking the water fast. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, if you have any other questions, post them in the comment section down there below. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I will put some links to some cool products in the description section, so make sure to check those out. I'm Cooter, and I will catch you all on the next exciting adventure.